From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather at noon.
Welcome in, everybody. Taylor Plott here with your latest forecast update here at noon on this beautiful Tuesday. Things are absolutely fantastic outside, still a little bit on the cooler side, but we'll see warmer weather later on today and especially tomorrow as we'll see temperatures getting back into the 80s. But our big focus is what's going to happen with the storm potential, specifically Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then again late Saturday night into Sunday morning. We have a lot to talk about. Let's dive right into it. First off, take a live look with our Arctic Air Skycam network. Live look at Lawrenceburg, Florence, Pulaski, and Cherokee at noon today. A lot of clouds around, but these are your high, thin cirrus clouds that are out there ahead of our next system that's coming up across parts of our southwestern areas. I say southwestern areas, part of the southwestern United States, kind of that Mexico area. You start to see a lot of that lift coming up through that area that's going to have that high, thin cloud potential as it gets that moisture advection up in the higher part of the atmosphere. So this is what you'll be seeing today for the most part. Our real big change is going to come tonight when we see a lot more cloud cover coming in, and we'll see some winds starting to pick up out there as well. 54 degrees. It's still on the cooler side of things here in Lawrenceburg with the wind around 7 miles per hour. Dew point at 43 degrees. This early afternoon hours on the campus of the University of North Alabama. Still on the cooler side there too, 57 degrees with a northeasterly wind at 4 miles per hour. That cloud cover might be keeping the temperatures from getting a little warmer, kind of what we forecasted, but still we'll see temperatures get back up into the 60s later on today. Again, like I mentioned, 57 in Florence, 58 in Athens, already 63 degrees in Huntsville, 55 in Pulaski, 56 down there in Red Bay. Like I mentioned, everybody will be warming back up into the upper 60s later on today. Futurecast is really not showing the high thin clouds, and it's hard to actually see that in some of the model guidance, but it is there today. Obviously, as we get into the afternoon hours, we'll continue to see that high thin cirrus clouds continue to move in from the southwest. And then later on this evening, we'll start to see a slight increase in cloud cover early on, but the bulk of the cloud cover won't be showing up until we get to the late evening hours. Temperatures at 6 p.m. this evening still in the 60s to around 70 degrees. Here's that cloud cover creeping on in across the area later on this evening, midnight tonight. Seeing those temperatures not going to be dropping too much because of this cloud cover, only getting down into the upper 50s and lower 60s for lows as we get into the morning hours. Might even see temperatures warm up slightly as we get past midnight. So it could be as we get close to daybreak, we're already in the middle 60s for the most part. Once we get into the noon hour tomorrow, notice those temperatures getting back up into the upper 70s and lower 80s, but notice those winds screaming in from the south, sustained 16, 19, maybe even up to 20 miles per hour. It's going to be a breezy day tomorrow, so just keep that in mind. Your Futurecast for the next several hours, I say Futurecast, your hourly temperature trend for the next several hours. Again, like I mentioned, eventually getting up into the upper 60s and lower 70s today. And then once we get down into the evening hours, we won't be dropping too much because of that cloud cover moving on in. Your highs today, upper 60s and lower 70s with a lot of sunshine out there. But again, those high thin clouds still impacting things. Once we get into the forecast tonight, temperatures lows down in the upper 50s and lower 60s. And then once we get into the day on Wednesday, temperatures, like I mentioned, getting up into the mid 80s. Could be some upper 80s out there potentially for some spots. I think the best chance of seeing those will be in some of the bigger cities like Florence and Decatur. Decatur here at 87 degrees, Florence and the Shoals at 86. Like I said, it's going to be breezy tomorrow, and because of that, the Weather Service in Nashville has issued a wind advisory in place for tomorrow. Could see wind gusts around 30 to 35 miles per hour. Still no advisory here for parts of northern Alabama or surrounding offices, so we'll have to see if they get on the wind advisory bus and start issuing those later on today. So we'll just stay tuned for that. Again, just know it's going to be breezy tomorrow. All right, let's talk about those rain and storm chances. I'll break this down kind of day by day, show you exactly what we're looking at forecast-wise. We're still looking at lower-end rain chances for Wednesday and Thursday, only about 30% during the day and the nighttime as that front tries to get close to us, but it should stay off to our northwest. As we get into Saturday, that's a different story, though, especially overnight Saturday into early Sunday morning. That's when we will start to see a front move on through. That's going to give us better chances of rain and storms and maybe some severe weather with it. Because of the active pattern, the Weather Service offices in Nashville and Memphis have issued a flood watch. This goes until Sunday. This is Sunday at 7 a.m. that you see here on that time. This does include Wayne County. It does include parts of Columbia, Hohenwald, areas off to our north and northwest. But again, that's where the bulk of this activity is going to end up being, as I show you here on your Futurecast. Let's start things out on Wednesday at noon. So this is tomorrow around the same time that we're having right now. Temperatures, again, back into the 70s, close to 80 degrees once again. There will probably be a few showers around, but I think the model guidance is showing this accurately because you see it struggling to really get storms that develop. They're really just spotty showers that you see around here, and I think that's kind of the right idea. I think there will probably be a few showers around, but I don't think it's going to be any big-time storm development. So again, your shower potential is there during the day on Wednesday. At 8 p.m. tomorrow, notice creeping into the frame here off to our northwest. That's that line of showers and storms, likely severe weather ongoing with it off to our northwest. But notice how it really only gets close to that I-40 corridor, and it doesn't really get any closer than that. But ahead of it, another chance of some showers ahead of that line. So that's kind of what we will be looking for, is how close does that line get, and does it really impact our area? Right now, we don't really think it's going to really impact our area. The only impact we'll see are just the gusty winds and the chance of some showers during the day and even the evening hours on Wednesday. Here on Thursday, same thing. Most of this activity is still lined up off to our northwest. This is Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Still seeing some breezy conditions most likely on Thursday as well. We'll go forward into Friday, and you'll see the same thing once again. Friday, 8 a.m., showers and storms still lined up off to our northwest. This one's kind of further to the north than the previous couple of runs, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But again, still lined up across this area with that stall frontal boundary. And as we go throughout the day on Friday, you'll see another wave of low pressure develop off to our west. It's going to, again, get severe weather potential over here in the Arklatex area, even parts of western Tennessee into parts of northwestern Mississippi. But notice we're still pretty dry here with only a handful of showers once again. They're really not big-time storm potential. It's just kind of showers. But things change once we get into late Friday into the day on Saturday. Saturday at 7 p.m., we'll have another wave of low pressure develop off to our west. This one will finally move on through and break the broken record, if you will, during the week, with everything continuing to stay off to our west. Once we get into late Saturday night, as we get towards midnight, 1 a.m., that's really when it starts to move on through, at least according to the GFS model here. And by the time we get into the day on Sunday, 1 p.m., all that activity is off to our west, and we'll start to have some shower activity on the back side of it and start to cool down pretty good once we get into the beginning of next week. So it's this system that we'll really have to watch for as we go into the weekend. That's going to probably give us our best chance at strong or even severe storms on Saturday. So again, we're still watching things Wednesday and Thursday. Most of that will likely remain off to our northwest, but I think there will probably be a few showers around both days. Temperatures still getting on the warmer side of things, up to the middle 80s for the most part. As we get into Friday and Saturday, we stay warm, 84 degrees on your Friday, 82 on Saturday, and then, like I just mentioned, that line of showers and storms most likely moving on through late Saturday into early Sunday. Look at those temperatures, though. 82 on Saturday, 68 on Sunday, 60 on Monday morning, waking up with temperatures most likely in the upper 30s. You go beyond Monday, you just add one more day to that 7-day forecast. Tuesday morning, there's a really good chance we might see temperatures close, if not at freezing, on Tuesday morning. So that's going to end up being that blackberry winter, as we always have at some point during the early part of April. So if you are wanting to try to plant, especially with these warm temperatures we have coming up, don't do it yet, because we'll still have to deal with potential freezing conditions. As it looks right now, it looks like that could be on Tuesday morning. That's your latest forecast from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Fred Gossage will be in with his live at 5 later on this evening. He will have an update on the storm potential Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and another look at that other storm potential as we get into Saturday night and early Sunday morning. Until then, I hope everybody has a wonderful Tuesday afternoon.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.